Here are some examples that we will solve using hypergeometric and confluent hypergeometric series. So let's see. First example is prove that e raised to power x is equal to f of a semicolon a semicolon x. So we can see from this question that there are only two variables are given. That means this is the case of confluent hypergeometric function, and the definition of confluent hypergeometric function is this. In terms of series we write this, that you will remember. Now what we have to do to prove this result, we have to put b is equal to a. When you put b is equal to a in the above series, you will get this result, that is 1 plus x upon 1 factorial plus x square upon 2 factorial plus x cube upon 3 factorial and so on. That means this is the exponential function e raised to power x. That's what we need to prove. Now the next question, prove that f a b semicolon b semicolon x is 1 minus x whole raised to power minus a. For proving this, now first of all, this is the case of hypergeometric function because we have three variable a b c here. So now we will write the definition of hypergeometric function, the its value in terms of summation. So we expand this summation, we'll get this thing. Now for proving this, the result, what we have to prove, we compare these two and we see that here b is replaced by c. That means you have to put c is equal to b, and if you put c is equal to b here and on the other side, you get this term where b terms are cancelled and we are only left with 1 plus a into x upon 1 factorial plus a into a plus 1 into x square by 2 factorial and so on. Now up to this is right, we just put. Now we have to express this result in terms of 1 minus x whole raised to power minus a. So you can solve this by solving the other side. Let it be the left hand side, this is the left hand side, and similarly you can write the right hand side and expand this thing. You can expand and you get the result directly. If on the other hand we can rewrite this result, if we don't want to solve the right hand side but we want to reach right hand side directly, so what we will do, we will put minus sign before a and before minus x. Both minus minus will become plus, so this plus sign here is replaced by minus minus. Again in the next term also we write minus a minus 1. After solving you get the same result here. So in this way we express this, and this is nothing but binomial expansion. This is binomial expansion of 1 minus x whole raised to power minus a. Right. Now we come to the next question, which is show that limit a approaches to infinity f of 1 comma a semicolon 1 semicolon x upon a is equal to e raised to power x. So this is again the case of hypergeometric function because it involves three variables. A replaced by 1, b is replaced by a, and c is replaced by 1, and x is replaced by x upon a. So in this standard hypergeometric function, all these variables are replaced and we get this thing, which is the question here. So what we have to do, we will write the hypergeometric function and its expansion. We replace these things that I have written here, then we get left hand side equal to left hand side, and on the other hand when we replace these things, you can see a cancel with a, then this 1 into 1 plus 1 in denominator also, that will cancel, and you get this summation 1 plus x upon 1 factorial plus a into a plus 1 upon a square plus x square upon 2 factorial and so on. Now what you have to do, you have to separate this a square below both the terms a and a plus 1. When one a below a will be 1 and the other a will be written like this, 1 a plus 1 upon a. So when you separate this on both the under both the terms, it will be 1 plus 1 upon a, like this. Similarly, the other terms by symmetry we have written. So this is what this is. The next thing that in the question is, we have to take the limit. Now we will take the limit as a approaches to infinity. A approaches to infinity means 1 upon a will become 0. So wherever is 1 upon a in the question, that will become 0, and we get this summation, and that means this summation is e raised to power x, that we have done in the first question also. It is the same. So these are the few examples. Now in this way I will give you one assignment. You will solve all the question of the assignment in this way only, by using the two hypergeometric function, one simple hypergeometric, second confluent hypergeometric function. You will use the expansion and you will put the variable whatever is required for the given question, and use the summation series, whether it is sine, cos, tan, it will be given in the question. You have to express that hypergeometric function in terms of the given series. Now here are some examples from hypergeometric function. The first one is, show that f a b b minus a plus 1 comma minus 1 is equal to this. This is expressed in terms of gamma function, and deduce this result. So first of all, we know that this expression comes in the integral formula of hypergeometric function. So we are using the integral formula of hypergeometric function, which is this. Now what we have to do, we have to compare these two. Okay, what in the question, what we have to prove? We have to replace a by a is same, b is same, but c is replaced by b minus a plus 1 and x is replaced by minus 1. So first thing we have to perform the given changes. C is equal to b minus a plus 1 and x to minus 1. So when you replace these things in the given integral, this one the integral formula, in this also we replace this c minus b. When you replace c by b minus a plus 1, c minus b will be minus a plus 1. So minus a plus 1 means a minus 1. Similarly here, in place of c is present at these three places, so we replace c by this and x by minus 1. When you put x is equal to minus 1, it will be 1 plus t. So this minus 1 plus 1 cancel. Both the term have same power, so we can combine them, and while we combining them, 1 minus t, 1 plus t will become 1 minus t square. Rest of the terms are as it is. Now to solve this, we are going to put t square as new variable u. So we put t square is equal to u, that will give you t is equal to u raised to power 1 by 2, and differentiating dt will be 1 by 2 u raised to power minus 1 by 2 into du. Now we are going to replace all the variable here t into u. So after replacing, we get this thing, and this is to constant will come out from the integral, and the integral left is this. Now this is 1 minus u raised to power minus a, and this u raised to power minus 1 by 2 is combined with this. So combining the power of u will get this thing, and here we add 1 and subtract 1. That means we are going to express this as a beta function, which is integral 0 to 1 x raised to power m and 1 minus x raised to power n minus 1, m minus 1 and n minus 1 dx. So we need the term in terms of something minus 1, something minus 1. So we to write minus 1 here, we add 1 as well. So this is our n and this is our m. So this is beta mn function. Beta mn can be expressed in terms of gamma expression. So gamma of b by 2, gamma of 1 minus a, gamma of their sum of these two terms. So we see that these two terms cancel with each other, and what is left is, now what we do, we multiply and divide by b. So b here, and this 2 I have written here in the numerator, 1 upon 2. Now b by 2 into gamma of b by 2 will become b by 2 plus 1 because of this result of gamma function. Gamma n into gamma of n is gamma of n plus 1. Similarly, b by 2 into gamma of b by 2 is b by 2 plus 1. Similarly here, b into gamma of b is gamma of b plus 1, and that is what we need to prove in the first expression. Now I want you to solve the other part. In the same way, a is a, replace b by 1 minus a, and c is same here, and x is 1 by 2, and solve this and express this in terms of the gamma function. Now one more example is here, very important. These two are very important examples. So now this is proof that Pn is a Legendre's function. We will solve this, or we have to do this chapter literally, but for now we are just using this formula that we will prove in the next chapter. So we are going to use it here. So just remember this is called Roderick's formula. So to prove this result, we put this value of Pnx. This is fixed value, we are using this. So Pnx is this. Now what we will do, we will separate this x square minus 1 raised to power n as, because x square minus 1 can be written as x minus 1 into x plus 1. Raised to power n will be same, raised to power n on both. So we write this x1 minus x square as 1 minus x, 1 plus x raised to power n. Now we will separate this 1 plus x raised to power n again like this. This is 1 minus x by 2. After simplifying this, if you simplify this expression, you will get this thing, because 2 in the denominator and numerator will be 2 minus 1 plus x. So what will be 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 plus x. So 1 plus x can be written like this. So now we are going to use the binomial expansion here, 1 minus x raised to power n. This is the binomial expansion that we are going to use here. So keeping these term as it is, we are using the binomial expansion on this thing. So binomial expansion is 1 minus n into x plus n into n minus 1 upon 2 factorial into x square, because in place of x we have 1 minus x upon 2, and so on. Now we multiply this 1 minus x raised to power n with each of the term, right, like this. Now what we have to do, we will take this nth derivative inside the bracket and distribute it over all the terms, and after that we will use this formula of higher order derivatives. So nth derivative of this type of term is, this is again a formula. So we are using many formulas here. This is also formula. This result is the formula of binomial, and this is the formula, Roderick's formula. So we have to remember these formulas. Now this formula tells us if we have to differentiate 1 minus x raised to power n times, so it will be minus 1 raised to power n. Nth derivative will be m factorial, factorial of the power, and factorial of the power and nth derivative difference, and 1 minus x raised to power will be m minus n. Now we are going to use it here. If we have to find the nth derivative of this will be n factorial upon n minus n factorial, because m is n in this case. So that will be 0 factorial, 0 factorial is 1, and 1 minus x raised to power n minus n. So that will be 0, or something raised to power 0 is 1. In the next term, n by 2 will be same. Now here it is n plus 1. So differentiate n plus 1 power n times, will get n plus 1 factorial. We just need to put every term here in the formula. You have to change the power, you have to change the value of m. N is fixed because in every term we have to take the nth derivative. You just change the value of m, whatever is here in the question. So you'll get this result. Now in each of this you have n factorial. This n plus 1 factorial can also be written as n into n plus 1 into n factorial, and each of the term can be written as n factorial. N factorial in each term is common, that will cancel with the this denominator, and minus 1 raised to power 2n, because 1 minus raised to power n is also present in each of the term, because in each we have to this will be common. Now this will be minus 1 raised to power even number, that will become 1, n factorial also cancelled, and what we are left with 1 plus, because this minus we attach with this n, to 1 plus minus n into n plus 1, 1 factorial, because we attach this 2 with 1 minus x. And similarly next term we write in this way. So you can see this is the value of hypergeometric function minus n, because the hypergeometric function, the definition is a comma b semicolon c, and x is, what is this? This is 1 plus a into b upon c x. Then we have a into a plus 1, b into b plus 1 into x square by 2 upon c plus 1, c into c plus 1, 2 factorial. This is the expansion. I have already written it in many questions. Now you compare this. In place of a we have minus n, in place of b we have n plus 1, in place of c we have 1, and in place of x, where we have x raised to power 1x raised to power 2, we have 1 minus x upon 2. So this is the value of hypergeometric function written in this way. So these are very important examples. Solve these on your notes, and with this chapter has been completed. Just you have to solve the assignment and submit it to me.